All right, let's talk about something that's literally all around us, shaping everything from the food we love to the music we can't stop listening to. I'm talking about diversity. But what is it, really? And why is it so important? Well, that's what we're going to dive into today. So just take a look at these two drawings. They're both supposed to be a person, right? But wow, they could not be more different. One is all about these crazy colors and sharp lines, and the other is just these flowing, swirly shapes. It's a perfect way to think about it, isn't it? Each one of us sees and interprets the world in our own totally unique way. And this kind of uniqueness isn't just for art class. It's about every single part of who we are. Just like those drawings, every one of us is a total original. We've all got these differences. Some you can see, and a whole lot that you can't. I mean, think about it. It's the language you speak, the cultural background you come from, your family's traditions or religious rituals, and even just her own personal style. How you dress, what you're into. All these little threads weave together to make you, well, you. And it's that amazing variety that makes the world such an interesting place to be. So, to really get a handle on how all these differences play out in the real world, let's look at a story. It's about two boys who came from completely different worlds, but they found this incredible connection that went way beyond all that. Okay, so meet our two main characters. You've got Samir Ek, the boy on the bicycle. He rides through this busy intersection every single day. And then there's the other boy, the one selling newspapers. That's Samir Doe. He's always there, a regular at that same spot. And when you look closer, you see just how different their lives are. Samir Ekok, he's heading to school, he speaks English, and his family is Hindu. But Samir Do, well, he's never even been to school. He speaks Hindi, makes his money selling those papers, and he's Muslim. Two totally different worlds, right? But even with all those differences, something amazing happens. A friendship starts to grow. And it really clicks into place when they find out they both have the same name, Samir. So they come up with this playful little nickname system. One becomes Samir Ek, that's Samir number one, and the other is Samir Do, Samir number two. But then things take a dark turn. The real world crashes in on their friendship. Trouble starts brewing. We're talking about communal riots, these really violent clashes between different religious groups, and they break out in a city called Meerut. And that's where Samir Do's family lives. And the next day, Samir Do is just gone. The story ends with Samir Ek saying this, and it's just heartbreaking. It's a brutal reminder of how these big societal divisions can rip apart something as simple and pure as a friendship between two kids. So this story about the two Samirs, it actually brings up a really, really important point. We need to understand the difference between diversity and inequality. They are not the same thing. Okay, so what's diversity? Well, it's all the different ways we're different. Think about it. Samir Ek is Hindu, and Samir Do is Muslim. That's diversity. It's about our different cultures, our different languages, our different beliefs. And these differences aren't supposed to be a problem. They're what make life interesting, what adds richness to the world. But inequality, that's something else entirely. Inequality is about not having the same chances. It's when someone doesn't have access to the same resources and opportunities that other people do. The perfect example is right in our story. Samir Ek got to go to school. Samir Do didn't. That's not just a difference, that's a disadvantage. That's inequality. So it kind of makes you wonder, right? Where does all this diversity even come from? It's not like people just randomly decide to be different. Turns out, two huge forces are at play: geography and history. They've been molding and shaping human cultures for thousands of years. Just look at this contrast. Both of these places are in India, but they feel like different planets. On one side, you've got Ladakh. It's this dry, mountainous desert, way up high. And on the other, you have Kerala, which is lush, green, right on the coast. It's an amazing visual of just how diverse one single country can be. And that geography had a huge impact on their history. In Ladakh, that mountain desert climate was perfect for raising goats that produce super soft pashmina wool. That brought in traders from places like Tibet. Meanwhile, down in coastal Kerala, they had the perfect climate for growing spices, so it became this major trading hub, attracting people from all over: Jewish and Arab traders, Chinese and European merchants. And all those different people brought their own influences, creating totally unique cultures, food, and traditions in each place. Okay, so this leads to a really big question. When you have a country with so many differences, how do you hold it all together? How can all that diversity become a source of strength instead of something that just pulls everyone apart? Well, that was the exact question India was facing during its fight for independence from the British. And a key leader, Jawaharlal Nehru, who would later become the first prime minister, he had a powerful answer. He argued that India's incredible diversity wasn't a weakness at all. In fact, he saw it as its greatest strength. And he summed it all up in this famous phrase, unity in diversity. And sadly, it was a terrible tragedy that really drove this point home. It's known as the Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. A British general gave the order for his troops to open fire on a crowd of peaceful, unarmed protesters. And what's so important to remember is who was in that crowd. People from every background imaginable. Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, rich, poor, all of them were there together, united against British rule. After this horrific event, a song was written that became a kind of anthem for the movement. It was a way to remember what happened, to honor the sacrifice, and to capture that feeling of shared grief. And then comes this incredibly powerful line from the song. See, in that moment of tragedy, those separate identities didn't matter as much. It wasn't about being Hindu or Muslim. It was about standing together. And that idea became a huge part of the fight for freedom. The song continues with this really striking imagery, urging people to remember the blood that was spilled, to see it as a symbol of their shared sacrifice. It was a call to find strength in that shared experience. And that's really the big takeaway here, right? This moment in history showed everyone that people could be different, very different, and still be totally united in fighting for a cause they all believed in. It proves that diversity doesn't have to divide us. It can actually be what makes us strong. So as we wrap this up, I want to turn the question over to you. Take a second and think about your own life. What is the diversity around you? The different people, cultures, and ideas you run into every day, what does it add to your life? How does it change the way you see the world?